Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost here at Nail Decadence. Welcome to my channel, welcome one and all. I've got a package from the lovely Madam Glam. Thank you ever so much, Madam Glam. They sent me a little surprise. I didn't know what I was getting. And this is what they sent. So I've got a silver gel paint and I got a tube of Polygel in, what was it? Ice Blossom. And it's actually a clear. At this point, I didn't know what Ice Blossom meant. I didn't know what kind of Polygel it was. So this is the reveal. This is where I get to find out exactly what it is. So I'm going to be using some poppets on my wonderful Handolly. If you are interested in getting a silicone practice hand, I highly recommend Handolly. It's www.handolly.co.uk and you are more than welcome to use my code. It's an affiliate code and it's KF Gift for a discount on your order. I use Handolly all the time. I love using her. She's a brilliant tool and I think every nail tech should have one to practice nails on. It's just wonderful. Anywho, so yes, I'm using poppets just for ease. So it saves me having to glue tips on and all of that jazz. So I thought I'd just grab the poppets out. These are the Deep Weld poppets. So they're a bit stronger than the other ones. So what I'll do is I'll squeeze some of the Polygel into the poppet, spread it with my brush evenly, apply it to the nail, and then I will flash cure it for 10 seconds on top and 10 seconds on the underneath as well. Even though it's clear, I probably don't need to flash cure it underneath because it's clear, but it's force of habit, because especially if you're using white Polygel, you definitely want to flash cure the underneath to stop it from moving whilst you do the other nails. So yeah, I'll just squeeze and estimate. I just estimate how much I'm going to need in the poppet, and for some reason I started making them long and I was like, what are you doing, Karen? You've gone for a medium length in the little finger, why are you doing long in the other ones? I don't know, kind of lost the plot a bit there. But just know that you if you need to add any more, you can add it in before you place it on the nail, or if you need to remove some, you can remove some. So it doesn't matter, you know, it's not so important how much you squeeze in the poppet initially. So yeah, I'm just guesstimating how much I'm going to need, and I've actually got a little bit too much, but I'm not bothered. This stuff files so easily. Every Polygel I've ever worked with files so easily. And speaking of every Polygel I've worked with, this is actually a really nice one to work with. It's not overly sticky, it's not really super hard, so it's very easy to maneuver with my brush. I didn't have to faff around with it too much, even though, you know, I'm a major faffer and I faff a lot. I found this stuff really easy to work with, so I'm really happy with the way it felt texture wise and consistency wise. Yeah, it's a nice one to work with. What you don't want is one that's really sticky and sticks to your brush and just is too soft and mushy. This is just a very nice consistency to work with, so I was happy with that. Now the color wise, this is a clear, but it's not a crystal clear, it's more of a frosted clear. You'll see at the end where when I do my gel polish design on top, I do leave a negative space area so that we can see how clear this is. But it's called Ice Blossom, so it's obviously not going to be a crystal clear, you know, given the name of it. That's kind of a hint. Please excuse any background noise. I noticed that I hadn't put my laptop fans on silent, so they might have been making a lot of noise. I haven't listened back yet, but I'm hoping it didn't sound too bad, the last bit that I recorded, because I don't fancy voicing it all over again. So yeah, sorry in advance if that last section of voiceover had a background noise of the fans. Do apologise, but I am far too tired to go back and re-record. Sorry, it's staying as it is. Anyway, so I'm at the last poppet, so I've applied that to the nail, so I'm going to flash cure it on the top and the underneath. Then I will put them under the lamp for the full 60-second cure. There we go. And now it's time to file. Are you a frosty filing freak? Woohoo! So easy to remove the poppets, as you can see, just a little pinch and a wiggle and you can remove the poppets. They come off very, very cleanly. I'll just remove the tacky layer from underneath. The tacky layer is mostly on the underneath because you will only get a tacky layer where there's air in contact with the product. So yeah, just remove the tacky layer first of all, and then we can just refine it. Now obviously with poppets there isn't an awful lot of filing to do, so I'm just going to tidy up those side walls very, very quickly. There's not a lot of filing to do, and I'll even up that free edge. Now I do need to reduce the length of these ones to match the little fingers, because like I said, I got a bit happy with the product and started making them really long, and yeah, that's not what I did with the little finger. So just used my sanding band to take down the length. Polygel files so easily, like I said. It doesn't take much to file down the free edge to match the little finger. Then I will use the same sanding band, go around that cuticle area, make sure it's nice and flush, and if any of the polygel had seeped out of the poppet, it just means that I can even it out. Now this is a Handolly that doesn't have sliding tips, it has the stick-on tips, and I have placed nail guards, which is like a clear sticker that you put on the nails, which means that you can peel them off afterwards. You don't have to soak off the nails. I noticed as I was going around that cuticle area to make it nice and neat, the polygel wasn't sticking to that nail guard very well, so I have overfiled ever so slightly around the cuticle area excuse me, but that's just where the polygel wasn't sticking to that nail guard properly, so obviously I have to remove it. If it's lifting, you know, it just wouldn't look nice, so I did file some of that away. So I'm just going to tidy up, remove the dust. There we go. Can you see? You can see there, especially on that middle finger where I've had to file some of that polygel away. So I'll just grab the polygel back out again and put it in that cuticle area, even it back out, and just don't need a lot at all. Using the slip solution, I'm using the SBD London slip solution. I love that stuff. It smells like baby powder. It's the best slip solution ever. Anyway, that's what I'm using to pattern press the product into place. Now I'm just going to use my brush, get it right back to the cuticle area but not touching the skin, and then blend it into the rest of the product as best I can with the brush, so that all I have to do then is buff it over with a nail buffing block or a nail buffing file, and yeah, that'll be sorted. So there was a little bit missing on the side there, so I've just added that. Not a lot needed at all, as you can see. That's just a tiny bit on that index finger. I mean, I'm using the smallest amount just to fill in that back area so that it's nice and neat. And because you can be really accurate with a brush, and because you're under zero time restraints with polygel, it's not going to set up until you put it under the lamp, so you've got more than enough time in the world to really perfect it, so that if you get it as perfect as you can with your brush, you will have minimal filing to do, which means, as you can see, once I've cured it under the lamp, I can then remove the tacky layer and use my buffing file and just tidy up that cuticle area. This had a little bit hanging over the sides there on that sidewall, so I just used my hand file for that, tidy that up, and then I can carry on. And at this point all I'm trying to do is make sure it's totally blended in, and I've made sure that I've buffed over the entire surface so that my gel polish has something to stick to. You don't want to leave it shiny because your gel polish could possibly peel, and you don't want that. So just buff over the surface, make sure it's all the whole nail is totally buffed, that way your gel polish has something to stick to. So not a lot of filing to do, thank goodness, just buffing over that total back area and then blending where it's blended into the nail. You do want to make sure that that is totally buffed as well, and that way you've got a nice smooth surface that's been buffed, so it's got small edges in it, perfect for your gel polish application. So I'll just use a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, make sure I remove all of the dust. There's nothing worse than getting bits stuck in your gel polish. That drives me nutty. And I just noticed I had a little bit of polygel sticking out on the side there. It wasn't quite as smooth, and this is why I always stop and look at all of the nails before I finish and put something away. This is why I always say stop and look at all of the nails as a whole, not just the nail you're working on, and that's why I was able to notice there was an issue. Anywho, so I'm going to use this beautiful teal colour. Well, it's a turquoise from Madame Glam, and as you can see I do have a discount code. If anyone is interested, you are more than welcome to use my discount code NAILDEC. That will get you 30% off your orders from Madame Glam. I'd appreciate it if you'd use my code if you go and purchase from them, but yeah, you're by no means do you have to. The choice is yours. Anyway, so I'm going to do full coverage of this turquoise. It's called Hero Turquoise on the little finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, and then I'm going to do a negative space design on the index finger. So what I want to do is I want to distribute some of the gel polish onto the middle of the nail first of all, then go into the cuticle area. As you saw, because I'm doing that negative space design, I didn't deposit the gel first, but I did wipe off some of it, so I wasn't, my brush wasn't fully loaded, because I do want to do that negative space design. So I'm going to be a bit more careful with my application, get it to approximately where I want that negative space design to be, and then I will use a striping brush to just refine it and get some nice sharp lines going. If you want clean lines, it's definitely a good idea to use a striping brush if you want some sharp clean definition in your lines. It's harder to do with just the brush from the bottle. So yeah, and before I put the nails under the lamp, I will just quickly whiz over the surface to make sure that any of the gel polish that's pooled at the sides, I wipe that down so that I don't lose the shape of my nails. What happens is when you apply gel polish, as you get further along and away from the first one, so you work along from, I'm working from little finger down to index. By the time you get to the index finger, some of that gel polish that is in the center of the nail starts to relax and starts to go towards the side walls and the free edge of the nail. Gravity works, it pulls the gel polish down. If you don't just quickly whiz over with the brush from the bottle before you put it in the lamp, and leave those pooled areas on the side walls and the free edge, you'll lose the shape of your nails very, very quickly. So that's why I just use not a lot of product on the brush and just pull over the edges of the nails to make sure that I've removed any excess gel polish before I put it in the lamp. That's the reason why I do that. I understand that it might look a bit weird to people if when they see me do that, because they don't understand why I do what I do, but there is a reason for it, I promise you, and it's because I want to maintain the shape of the nails. I don't want to bulk out the sidewalls and the free edge, and that's the easiest way to do it, is just use the brush from the bottle and remove any excess polish. I mean, you want to be working in thin layers anyway, because you want your gel polish to cure all the way through, and so you don't want to use loads and loads. It can cause wrinkling, and it can just not cure all the way through if you're putting too thick of a layer on. So it's better to do 3 thin layers than 2 thick layers, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is pretty opaque on the first layer, to be perfectly honest, but I wanted to make sure that there was zero patchiness at all. So I've done 2 thin layers of the gel polish, and that is absolutely full coverage. It's the Madame Glam polishes are just a pleasure to work with. I love the consistency of them. It's a really nice consistency. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. They're almost opaque on the first coat. I mean, they're just very good quality. I do love the Madame Glam polishes, and thank you, Madame Glam, thank you for sending me these products to play with. I've really enjoyed trying out the Polygel and your gel paint, and here we go with the gel paint. So they sent me the silver gel paint, so I'm going to do a very quick design on this set. And this brand new, so I've got to get it open. This is the worst part of anything, is getting them open in little pots. I made a right mess. I've got silver paint all over my gel now, all over my gloves. I wanted to give the silver gel paint a good stir, because obviously it's the first time I'm using it, and I wasn't sure if any of the little silver particles will have sunk to the bottom, so I just gave it a little bit of a stir before I used it. And then I'm going to just paint a very easy sort of leafy design in that negative space area. It's a lovely gel paint to work with. It's very, very glittery. It's quite similar to the SBD London one. I've got the silver in the SBD London gel paint. It's a very similar, very glittery gel paint. And as you can see, it's easy to work with. I don't have to keep going over my lines. It's got good coverage. So I'm also going to do a little leafy design and swirl pattern on the ring finger as well, so that you can see it over the gel polish. And that contrast of the silver against this turquoise, oh, I love it. I think it's a beautiful combination. What do you think, silver and turquoise? Do you think it's a good combination? I think it's a nice combination. I wasn't sure what colour gel polish I wanted to use when I first received the package. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And then obviously I didn't know what colour the polygel was going to be. So it wasn't until I actually got the poppets out and started creating the nails with the polygel that I had to sort of think about what colour I was going to use, because it was all depending on what colour the polygel was going to be, you know. So it turned out the polygel was clear, so it meant I could use any colour. And I had this this turquoise, and I thought, oh, it's a beautiful colour I've not really used yet. Let's use that one. And I thought the contrast of that with the silver against it, oh, I'm happy with this combination. What do you think? Let me know what you think about this combo. I think it's a nice one. So yeah, I'm just doing basic leaves, nothing difficult. As we all know, I can't draw, so yeah. Just do a basic leaf pattern, and I wanted to fill some of the top area, so I'm just going to do a little swirl, little swirly swooshy thing up there, because I did a little swirl on the negative space area as well. So I thought I'd do a little quick design at the top there. It just looked a bit bare, so I thought I'd add a little bit more. You know me, when I say simple, it always ends up being complicated, but this is fairly easy to draw. It's easy to draw, and that gel paint makes it a pleasure, because like I said, I don't have to keep going over and over and over the lines. It's got good coverage. So overall, I've really enjoyed using the gel paint and the polygel It's been a pleasure to work with them. So now it's time to top it off and keep it tough, which also means we are at the end of the video, unfortunately. It's been a pleasure to use these products, like I said. Thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, spending some of your most precious time with me. I appreciate you ever so much. If you have not done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Join the Frosty Fam. I'd love to have you. If you have enjoyed this video or it's helped you in any way, shape or form, do please click that like button. It would mean the world to me. It really helps out my channel with the algorithm, and it takes but a second for you to click that button. So please, thumbs up please. And if you feel like it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. So that is all I have for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I will speak to you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
I was lost without any direction. Had a line so many times, but I needed attention. No matter what I say, no matter my regrets, things still been said and done. There's not a part of me that wants to say no, but I have realized I had to let go. Oh, 'cause something's broken and I'm the reason. It's not that easy knowing you'll do better without me, without me.